All right. Let's dive into some Padel today. And
Sounds good.
specifically,
hmm
counterattacks.
Yeah,
You know, those moves that can completely shift the momentum of a match. You've
absolutely.
given me some great notes on 3 specific techniques that you are looking into. So let's break them down and figure out how we can use those to dominate
Yeah.
on the court.
Now, just a
It's
quick little explainer for
uh,
anyone listening who might not be familiar with Padel. Padel is this racket sport. It's like a
mhm.
mashup of tennis and squash
Yeah.
played on an enclosed court with walls.
Yeah.
So those walls add a whole other dimension to the game.
Exactly.
And the thing about these counterattack techniques is they're not just about getting the ball back. They're all about strategically getting you back to the net, which is such a crucial position in Padel.
It's the most important position on the court.
It really is.
So
Okay.
let's start with the lob counterattack, or I've also heard it called throwing the lob. And I can definitely see how this would be a useful move when you're pinned down at the back of the court.
Hmm.
Your opponents are all over the net.
Right.
But is it really just about hitting the ball high enough?
Mm-hmm.
What's the actual strategy behind an effective lob counterattack?
Yeah, so it's more than just hitting it high. The real key is depth. You want to make sure that lob is landing deep in your opponent's court, ideally hitting the back wall.
Oh, I see.
Because what that does is it forces your opponents to turn and run back, giving you that time to reposition yourself, maybe even advance towards the net.
So it's almost like you're using it as a strategic retreat
Yeah,
to actually set yourself up for a counteroffensive.
that's a great way to put it.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, you mentioned repositioning.
hmm
Are there specific spots on the court that you should be aiming for after you hit that lob?
Yeah, so ideally you want to move towards the center of the court. What that does is it gives you the best angle to cover both sides as your opponents are returning that ball. And while they're busy running back, you can take a moment to really analyze their positioning and anticipate where they're going to hit that next shot.
So you're not just gaining a physical advantage by moving forward,
Right.
you're also gaining that mental edge.
Absolutely.
Okay. So let's move on to our next counterattack, which is the bandeja block.
Okay.
Now, this one sounds a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah.
Can you kind of paint us a picture
Yeah.
of how this would actually play out on the court?
Yeah. So imagine your opponent is at the net and they're about to hit that powerful overhead smash,
Right.
that bandeja that we've talked about.
Yeah.
That can win a point so quickly, but you're not going to let them have it easy. You're going to move forward and intercept that bandeja with a controlled block,
Oh, wow.
keeping the ball low and forcing a weaker return.
So it's kind of like that boxing analogy again. So you're slipping the punch and then coming back with the jab. But wouldn't a skilled opponent kind of be ready for that counter?
Yeah.
How do you make sure your block isn't predictable?
Yeah, that's a great question. That's where your footwork and your disguise come in. You don't want to telegraph your move. You want to keep your movements nice and light and agile, making it hard for your opponent to guess your intentions. And then when you block, try to aim for different areas of the court
I see.
to keep them get
So again, it's fit and value game as much as it is
Absolutely.
a physical game. Love that.
Ah.
All right, let's move on to our final counterattack, which is the Chiquita.
Okay.
Now, I'll be honest. I've always struggled with this one. It seems so subtle, almost too delicate
Right.
to really be effective. How do you actually make the Chiquita a weapon on the court?
So the Chiquita is all about precision and placement. You're hitting this soft, low shot that just barely clears the net.
Okay.
And what that does is it forces your opponent to scramble forward for a difficult return.
Right.
And because it's so unexpected, it can really disrupt their rhythm, especially if they're used to those powerful shots from the back of the court.
So you're catching them off guard,
Yeah.
luring them into this position where they're more vulnerable.
Yeah.
And once they hit that weak return, you're already in position to pounce.
Yes. You use that opportunity to quickly move to the net, take control of the point. And the Chiquita is particularly effective against players who love that baseline play. It forces them out of their comfort zone.
So it's almost like a judo move.
It is.
You're using their strength against them.
Yeah, you are.
I like that analogy. So we've got the lob for creating space
Mm.
and regaining control. We've got the bandeja block for turning defense into offense.
Yep.
And then we've got that Chiquita for disrupting rhythm and seizing the net.
Mm-hmm.
3 very different approaches, but they all have their own tactical advantage.
They do. Yeah.
So the real question is, which one of these techniques resonates most with your playing style? Which one are you going to focus on? and really try to add to your arsenal. Think about it. Visualize yourself executing these on a court. Get out there and practice.
Exactly.